Hey guys, it's Sam, and as you can tell, this is a moment a lot of you have been waiting for. We have another round of Tome Topple coming up, round 9 of Tome Topple. So if you're new to Tome Topple is a readathon that I created, that I have a bunch of lovely co-hosts that join me and help me out with it. But the next round of it is happening November 9th through November 22nd. It's a 2-week long readathon that is all about reading big books, so books over 500 pages. Now I know in the year of our Lord 2019, readathons have gotten very complicated. I get that. I can't. So my readathon continues to be just read books over 500 pages. That is the only rule, and that the work itself has to be over 500 pages. So the only kind of like side rule to that some people get a little bit fussy about, but also this readathon is so easy. There are so many books that fit this category. I promise if I rule out this category of things, you'll be fine. But like anthologies and short story collections and things like that don't count just because the individual works within it are under 500 pages. So even like a bind up, if the bind up is over 500 pages, but the individual like 2 books in it are not, like that doesn't count. So like the work itself has to be over 500 pages, okay? So I promise you can find a lot of books that fit that category, but also if you want to read a book that's over 500 pages that is technically an anthology, I will not know about it. And you can do what you want. I want this to be as stress-free as possible. It's been a stressful fall for me and the rest of my anxiety babies, so just read some books over 500 pages together, okay? So as I said, this is November 9th through the 22nd, so 2 weeks long, so that you can get as many books read or as much read of one book as you possibly can. It starts at midnight in your time zone on the 9th and ends at 11:59 p.m. in your time zone on the 22nd, so you don't have to worry about like coordinating with everybody else. Almost all of the activity for Tome Topple happens on the Tome Topple Twitter account, which will be here and linked down below, so go ahead and follow us there, and also use hashtag Tome Topple to talk to everybody else that's participating, so you can participate in Twitter sprints or just talk about what you're reading or whatever, but there's sprints that are happening on the Tome Topple account at least daily. We have a bunch of different hosts in a variety of different time zones that hopefully you can participate in sprints if you want to, and there's little like games and stuff. That's all just for fun. There's also going to be Instagram challenges like there are every time, and I will be posting those closer to the actual readathon on my personal account, so you can check it out there. I might do like a bingo thing too to see if like maybe that'll be something. So check out, if you want some more like challenge based things, check out my Instagram, which is linked down below, closer to when the readathon goes live. So my other co-hosts besides myself are Adriana from Perpetual Pages, Sarah Jane from The Book Life, Sean from Reader's Rambles, Kaz from Little Book Owl, Sam from Will Read for Booze, and joining us this round is Joss from Yogi with the Book. Their links will also be down below if you want to follow any of them. I highly recommend all of their channels. So as far as challenges for books to read, honestly, you can read any book over 500 pages and you're good, but if you want to kind of structure a TBR or read more things or whatever and just have a little bit of structure, here's some of the TBR challenges that you can do. The first challenge is to read more than one tome. So read more than one book over 500 pages during the readathon. This is challenging for some of us and not so challenging for others. Usually I only keep my TBR to 2 books because reading more than 2 I don't think has ever happened, but some people read a ton more than that, so challenge yourself. I think 2 is a decent enough number. We don't need to get crazy here. Number 2, read the tome that has been on your TBR the longest. So find a book that's been really intimidating, sitting there, you've been scared to read because it's so long, and read that one. Number 3, read a tome that's part of a series. This is pretty easy to do because a lot of tomes are in large fantasy or science fiction series, so I'm sure you'll be able to find one. Number 4, read a tome in a genre that you don't usually read. So if you are a big science fiction and fantasy person, maybe reach for a graphic novel tome, maybe reach for a contemporary or a classic or a literary fiction, or something that's not in your usual genre of choice. And number 5, read an adult novel. So not just middle grade or YA or even like new adult. Read a firmly in the adult category book. So that is it for all of the rules. Now I'm going to talk about my own personal TBR. Now I don't know where I'm going to be in November with what I'm going to want to read. I'm such a mood reader, so I'm going to have a few selections in here. I'll probably read only 1, maybe 2 of them, but kind of depending on how I feel, these are the books that I might read in Tome Topple this year. The first one I'm pretty positive I'm going to read, and that is The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. might be the only book I read. It's a Pulitzer Prize winner. It's 771 pages. It's an adult book. It's in a category I don't usually read because it is a literary fiction book, and it's been on my TBR a very long time. I'm not sure if it's the longest book, but it's close to one of the longest ones that's been on my TBR. Did I say it was an adult book? It fits almost all of the categories. It intimidates me. These pages are almost Bible thin, like it's just a lot. I actually don't know a ton about this, and I just kind of want to go into this as blind as possible, but it seems to be a kind of dark, captivating tale of this guy that ended up surviving a tragic accident. And one thing that's kind of been a constant in his life is this painting of this goldfinch, and it kind of follows that like through and into like a lot of intrigue and mystery and things like that. So that is very vague because I don't know anything about this. I could also start this book and hate it and DNF it, totally possible, but this is what I'm going to try in November and feels like a November book to me anyway, so I think it'll be good for Tome Topple. If my anxiety flare-up is doing a little better by then and I can read some fantasy, I do really want to read Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. This is the second book in the Farseer trilogy. Right now, my brain is not letting me read anything fantastical, which I know is like bizarre for me, and you guys are like, who even are you? And I'm like, I don't know right now. So if I'm able to read anything magical at all, please let me. Then I will be picking this up. This was also a Patreon book pick a while ago, but I wasn't able to read that month, and I just got behind on things like that. So this is one that I want to kind of make up for by the end of the year as a Patreon book pick as well if I can, if my brain will let me. And if I want to read sci-fi instead, I'm going to be reading Abaddon's Gate by James S.A. Corey, the third book in the Expanse series. I have read, I think, the first two books during Tome Topples in the past. This is a very large, epic sci-fi space opera series. It feels kind of like Mass Effect with the scope and things, and it's just a lot of fun. So if I want to do more of a sci-fi, I will be going for this. So those are my potential options for Tome Topple and the announcement for officially Tome Topple. I know a lot of you have been asking. I'm sorry that there weren't as many Tome Topples this year as I was hoping, but life got really busy, mental health got a little bad towards the end, and I just didn't really want to do something that I didn't think was going to be fun for me. So that's why I've kind of delayed it to November. But comment below, let me know if you will be participating. And also, in case you're wondering, I do plan on bringing another round back early in the year 2020. So it's kind of making up for the lost time that we kind of had with Tome Topple during the summer. But definitely let me know down below if you'll be joining, what you plan on reading, and definitely check out the Twitter and things like that so that you can follow along with us and sprint and participate and be part of the Tome Topple community. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye.